If you're here, it's probably evening time. If you're in the United States, at least. If you're in Australia, then maybe it's like early morning or something. Anyways, welcome to the show. I'm Max with the RHMax channel. This is part 2 of the doubleheader. We had 2 streams today, and that takes a lot of time and energy. So I hope you appreciate it. My day has been very hectic, actually. But I'm caffeinated. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to talk to some Dixon Piper. This guy is somebody I've been following for a while. Seems pretty smart. He's got some he's got some good tweets. I definitely like a lot of information he's putting out, and I want to talk to him, discuss what it's like to be a gangster chart master, things like that. Has some pretty funny tweets as well, and of course we're going to talk about RH products. If you haven't had enough about crypto, the community, if you haven't been ground into the ground, I guess that is the right way to say it, isn't it? With technical stuff and deep dives and things like that, we're gonna talk some turkey today. I think this will be good. This is going to cap off quite a good week for us at the channel. Quite a good guest lineup so far. I'm really appreciative that I'm able to get people on the show that know what's up, know what they're talking about. People like to see and interact with. Share the link. Sub if you're not subbed yet. Let's get some more people on the channel. Let's get some more people in the chat. I know people may be out partying, but hey, the weekend is not over until you've had your fill of crypto chat. So without further ado, Dixon Piper 69, welcome to the show.
How's it going, guys?
It's going fantastic. I've had to have so much caffeine today to maintain myself.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. It's been a long week, and you're the finale, man. You're the finale. So
okay, let's do this. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be good. So what's up, Blue Bomb? What's up? How's it going? Nice to see you as well. And like I said, everyone, share the Telegram program, that thing. Paste this link on YouTube's in the Telegram. That'd be great. Tweet it out, retweet it. Me and Dixon have been doing that as well. Let's get some good Q&A. Like, people like to ask questions, and we like to give good answers. And sometimes we get a chat for the answers. We don't know too. So a lot of times they're helpful. You got some smart people in the chat too. But for people who don't know you, I don't know much about you yet, but I'm very excited to learn. What's your story, man? What's where the green candles come from? What's your introduction to the community? Where's your heart products and stuff? Tell us your story.
Basically, I was here at the start of all HEX and everything. I was pretty vocal in the telegrams like early on, but after big payday and stuff, I just I was never vocal like outside of Telegram. I was not on Twitter or anything. I actually quit social media, I don't know, about 2.5 years ago, 100%, because it's just toxic and it's terrible for your life. It honestly is. And so anyways, got into the bear market, and I just thought the community is going to get smaller in a bear market. I knew it was a bear market. There's a lot of people saying it wasn't. Most people were saying it wasn't. And I just wanted for me to come in and start saying stuff. It's a no lose scenario if I can possibly retain some people in the community, say some smart things that might make impact for somebody else, because I have not done the work that Hexologist and Motley and all these guys that have been here from the start, live streaming for the entire 2 years. I haven't put any of the work these guys have in. And I just thought, if I can help create network effect somewhere with some of the experience that I have, then why not show up for a little bit? And if we go bull market again and things, really what I was planning on doing was I was going to make a YouTube channel and become a bit boy of crypto. And what I was going to talk about, I was going to talk about other coins. I was going to talk about crypto in general. And like 2 of the few people I follow with my private account through the years were like Hexologist and Johnny Chaos and stuff, where those guys are very hardcore. I only like Hex people, and I like that. But at the same time,
RHMax almost.
Right. My best use case, the best way for me to use my skills would be to grow a massive page. If we are going to be gate kept, I could make a YouTube page similar to BitBoys with those kind of views, but I can't do it just talking about Hex all the time. So I just started my YouTube channel. I I try to make it about Bitcoin and Bitcoin price, and then kind of trickle in Hex at the end and stuff, just to make it show as I am on like a neutral field and try to get people that aren't just in the community here. But I don't know. It looks
is a
like
nice play. That is a nice play. That's like kind of going with Bitcoin, maybe, let's just say Bitcoin. I was going to say Ethereum too. If you just went Bitcoin and then, kind of sprinkling it, if people are interested, because when people get interested in you, they're interested in what coins you like.
right.
So if you sprinkle in Hex and Richard Hart, that's actually a good play.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, we need diversified content, and we have all the community people talking in the discourse stuff. We got Hexo doing his thing. Everybody has their own kind of content. Coffee's really good at making tutorial videos and doing live streams. And I mean, no one really talks about price and stuff. And for general crypto people, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear talking about price and where it's going to go. So I figured that's what I could be most useful about, even though I'm not a trader. I will take positions in things occasionally every few months if I see an opportunity, but I don't sit here and look at charts every single day to be a trader. But I do understand markets very well. I understand charts pretty good. We're going to talk about that later, I think, a little bit. But so that's why I kind of took the course there. But if I would make a large YouTube channel, it would not be favorable to other Hexicans, but it would be in the best interest of the community. So I mean, I probably won't, because the thing is, I probably won't end up doing that, because from what I'm seeing, the floodgates are going to open. BitBoy is going to start advertising Richard Hart products. Like, it looks like a sure thing to me. Banter, he got wrecked in all these centralized things. He's probably going to start. I mean, all these guys sacked. And the question was, will they talk about PulseChain? Well, after they all got wrecked in all these actual legitimate Ponzi's, I think they're all going to actually start talking about PulseChain and Hex and everything. So, I mean, honestly, I won't have to. And the only way that I could become a full-time YouTuber and grow a large crypto in general page, I would have to sell a business. And so right now, like, I can't just start today doing a YouTube channel, and half the battle is daily content. BitBoy right now has the blueprint to a successful crypto channel, having a criteria of things they talk about every day, daily content scheduled on time, good production quality, everything about it. It's actually, before he even started doing that, that's what I planned on. I built a 2,000 square foot studio in my new house for this, and I have everything just sitting here. I don't have the time to do it with the current businesses I operate. So, if I have to, I would, because back in the day when my bag is only 5 digits, it doesn't really make sense to sit here and spend all my time looking at coins and charts and everything. I know I'm in the right coin, just sit here with my thumb up my ass and hold it. And, where was I going at with that? Sorry, I totally broke the train of thought.
Sorry. I just think that you're looking for trying to optimize for utility, like a lot of people in the community,
right?
Are.
Yeah.
They're trying to find what they can do.
I wouldn't overinvest my time into crypto when I just have 5 digits in there. But now my stack is substantially large enough that it's like debatable that do I kind of dilute myself out of a business and focus more on my coins that has become a pretty substantial stack. And to do that, I mean, it'd have to be one or the other, but he used the name Dixon Piper, made it up. Favorite TV show, favorite movie, MacGruber. It was either Crypto Mac or Dixon Piper.
That's where that's from. I get it now. I get it, because I like that guy. He was also in a few movies. He's not super famous, but like, I watched MacGruber recently, and I was like, that's the guy.
It's so stupid, but it's hilarious, man. Like, that kind of stupid humor gets me. But
no, I'm with you.
So yeah, it was either Crypto Mac or Dixon Piper, and I thought Dixon Piper sounded more sexual and had a lot of plays off of that. So I was like, okay.
When I say it, I don't even think it's sexual. I just think of, like, it sounds like a famous person, Dixon Piper. It sounds like you're like a lord of the 1700s or something. I don't know. It sounds cool. I like it. And then 69. Then okay, now we're getting back there. But I like it, man. So when did you? So you're, I guess, day one Hexagon then.
Yeah. So like, I was 16 crypto. I actually got in crypto on a Ponzi. Like, it was like $50. Somebody I knew was like, hey, you're supposed to buy some Bitcoin or something, and you give me 0.1 of that, and then you're going to get like 0.2 later on. Like, it was like $50. I'm like, here's $50. And then my brother did it too. It was like $200 or something in like early 16, and like didn't even think about it, to whatever. And hit like the top of the 17 market. He's like, holy shit, I have like 20 grand in my account. I started with $200, and he didn't even know what was going on. But then I started studying a lot more. Bought big at the bottom when it got to about $6,000 after a couple bounces, and got wrecked thinking that every bounce was going to new all-time highs. Basically lost 50% of my stack from $6,000, lost 50% of my stack just getting in and out on lower highs and stuff, and trying to not necessarily revenge trade, but I do have my fair share of like winning and losing trades to where I understand it enough to where all the trading you can do, it's just not worth it. And it's just better off being in the right products.
What's up? Tilt a real thing in trading? Tilt, can you go on tilt
trading? Oh, 100%. And once you lose 50% of your stack, all of these people that aren't extremely disciplined, like, it all comes down to discipline. All of these people revenge trade, and that's how they lose everything. Like, oh, I just got to get my 50% back, or I just got to get back 75% of that. And they revenge trade, and it's just a vicious cycle. And everybody except very, very few that have extreme discipline, it happens to.
Wow. Yeah, I've never been a trader per se that I would even care to call myself, but I used to play a lot of poker, and I always wondered in different verticals and different industries and stuff how tilt affected people, how it affects your life, how seductive it is.
If you got substantial money in trading, you don't ever sleep. Like, your life is revolved around being sick and staring at a chart and hoping that candle doesn't go red. It's not a way to live. It's really not.
No, definitely. That's one of the principles of the community that, Richard Hart preaches it, just as much as anyone else. Trading gets you wrecked, leverage, levies, liquor.
Yep. Is there opportunity on occasional situations where if my brother is a shitcoiner, he hops in and out. He calls it rug jumping. He kind of does the B-roots stuff of
he's dodging the rug pull.
Yeah, he gets into garbage and then gets out before it rugs, and he tries to make a 2x, tries to make a 5x, and my stack, just by doing nothing, outdid his immensely. And you can't ever trade enough without being absolutely perfect. It's such a very small few percent of people that can actually profit and make money trading more than 10,000% gain of price appreciation. So
yes, I'm glad we don't have to. I'm glad there's solutions like staking and just like all this crazy positive feedback loop game theory that just keeps, one coin, you don't have to sell it anymore. All this, I really think, even though, you could say a lot of it's just like these man-made, made-up games of like circular kind of reasoning. You could say that, but it's also, hey, you're not trading, so at least you're letting the computers do all the brain power, and you're going to live in your life and going on vacation.
Yep.
I want to ask you about the get rich slow mentality. You talked about that a little bit online as well. What does that mean to you? How would you apply such a thing?
So when I say that, I handle my real life financials way different than my crypto financials. So in the real world, I borrow every dollar I can. I'm always borrowed to the max. My credit sucks because I have so much money borrowed. I'm such high risk, but I've have 100% payments my entire life because every dollar I borrow goes into a productive asset. So I'm leveraged out the ass in the real world. But when it comes to crypto, the gains are so huge and the price is so volatile. People try to get rich quick by adding leverage. Oh, I think I can just go, like, even for an example, like back in 2019, after we went down to $3,000, went back up to like $6,000 or $8,000. Richard even said, this was Richard. He said, you could probably buy Bitcoin on 2x leverage from here and ride the whole bull market like that. We had some flash wick down to $3,000. I think it was that Bitfinex deal where we actually would have gone under 1,000 if they didn't shut down. So Richard's advice, I don't know if he'll say this or not, somebody could find it in a video.
Mhm.
That would have actually got people liquidated on 2x leverage in a bull market because there's so much volatility. And
HEXsearch.io. Somebody in the chat, HEXsearch.io, and find him talking about that if anybody's interested.
Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, like, people get bored in bear markets and then they just want to chase something new. So like people want to chase the new dog coin of the bear market, or they want to chase the new whatever it is that comes out. Yes, I understand new coins do pump, but it matters. You don't know if it's going to go for a 2x or a 15x. And most people, 90% of people do not, I would even say higher than that. 95% of people do not take profits. No one takes profits in all these. Everything that launches new in a bear market, it all ends up having the same fate, where people chase it, they chase pumps, and they end up with a smaller stack than just chilling and sitting in cash for a year and a half. You know, all you have to do is just sit and not look at charts and not look at anything for a year and a half and get back in crypto and you're fine. But they get anxious and they get bored. And that's where I try to really push at a get rich slow mentality in crypto, where the cash I have is enough. I don't need to leverage it. I don't need to go try to make a trade to get a little bit more of a stack. Just get the price appreciation. That's all you need.
Funny enough, when human nature, you can't help yourself. Need to trade, need to make a move, need to get some excitement.
99% of people overtrade.
Yes. Well, it's bad for them and it's bad for the project chart too, right?
Yep.
Because they're selling it, they're buying it half the time. If they just didn't do anything, which means not selling it, is included in that, of course, then that'd be better for the chart too.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose. It's so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this time different with Richard Hart, with his products, with his founder? Everyone says this time is different, but with him in particular and these products that he has, HEX, PulseChain, all this stuff, why is this time different? To get rich in crypto, for example.
So when it comes to everything that's not Richard Hart, I don't think this time is different. Back in the 2018 bear market, we had all this random news, like Bakkt was making a Bitcoin exchange, and it was like going to be government. It was whatever Bakkt was. Research what Bakkt was. It was some government exchange or something for institutional investors. Fidelity was going to give access to 50 million users for institutional investors to get into Bitcoin. And now we get the BlackRock news today.
BlackRock.
Yeah, they're getting into crypto. They got 11 million people or $11 trillion in assets they can bring into crypto. It's the same news every single cycle, but the cycles have to run their course. And did we bottom at 17,000? We could have, but I think there's going to be a buying opportunity still. I don't think in this environment where humans are all maxed out on credit, people are out of money in real life. We are in a recession. I don't believe we V-bottom. That's one of the biggest things what's keeping me out of the market, because I'm playing this market extremely conservative just because PulseChain's coming out and I don't want to take a chance. I like the number I have right now in my account, and I don't want to take a chance of losing 50% of my stack before PulseChain comes out.
Because dry powder, you want to have something?
Yes, it would make me sick if I lost 50%. So what I would tell somebody right now, flip a coin. You could either have your stack where it's at right now. Let's just use like $1 million for a baseline. You got $1 million of USDC in your account. You could spot buy ETH right now at a top, but it could keep going up. Flip a coin. Would you rather have $2 million or $500,000 at a coin flip? Or would you rather just have $1 million that when you know that PulseChain is going to succeed and you know that HEX is going to do good when PulseChain launches? To me, it's not worth the risk of the markets without more downside. So that's why I'm staying out, but I'm not saying that 17 is not the bottom. But why is this different for Richard Hart products? Because I think the floodgates are going to open. Everything was gate kept at first. And now I actually, like, in today's time, I actually kind of understand why they do list HEX at the back of ranking sites, because who's the arbiter deciding like how much volume you have to have for your market cap? It's kind of bull crap, but at the same time, at least I can understand it. At first, we didn't have that problem. They just sent us to page 3 when we didn't have a big market cap. when we had $5 million of volume. They still sent us to page 3 because they just hate Richard that much. And they were just, everybody was convinced it was a scam, everybody on earth. But now with PulseChain, and now, I mean, yeah, you can feel bad for the people that lost all their money in Luna and all the Ponzi's and Celsius, but all the influencers shilled this stuff. 100% of them. Every single influencer shilled actual legitimate Ponzi's, just like BitConnect. That everybody wanted to send Trayvon to prison for shilling BitConnect.
I got BitConnect in my head now. You just put it in there.
And these people, they all shilled actual Ponzi's that couldn't pay people out. And it's no big deal. But at least people like BitBoy are seeing the light now. And they're saying, oh, okay, I guess we can make inflate, or we can pay interest from inflation. At least it's getting paid from somewhere and it's not a Ponzi. And really the only thing with HEX you have to worry about is the price volatility. Everything else, you have more things to worry about than just price volatility. Contracts not being good. Where is the yield actually coming from? But so I think it's going to be different because PulseChain is going to open the floodgates. And I think it's going to be on a lot of exchanges.
Well, so why does we'll get to the exchanges part too, because that's very interesting. I want to dig into. But what are all the criticisms of PulseChain, of everything Richard does, every product that he makes? There's huge criticisms. Why don't they matter? Like again, like why is it different with its particular projects?
They just hate him. They hate him, the person. So like back early in HEX, he in 1 week, Richard went from basically 0 followers on Twitter to 66,000. And it all came basically from the Roger Ver interview on Bitcoin Cash.
It's a great interview.
But then after that, his following never gained again after he was giving a lot of good alpha, a lot of good understanding in layman's terms on the market. And his follower base wasn't going up. And he would post things bearish about the market with 66,000 followers and get single digit likes on it. And now I think people are seeing that his honesty is the only thing that's lasted. I mean, you look at all these people that actually make jokes about, like Eric Wall makes a joke about it where, what do you say? Like everything's falling apart in crypto. Everybody's going to prison. All these hedge funds are going to prison. Everything that people thought were legitimate in life and on the news were actually Ponzi's. How am I supposed to get to these HEX people that they think they're the smart ones now? Because we are, we stayed away from stupid, bad contract, actual legitimate Ponzi's. Now, could HEX be a bad project? Sure. People could lose faith in it and it could fizzle out. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. But it's never going to be a Ponzi. It could just be a bad project, It's
a great point.
But so I think it's just going to be different for a lot of those reasons.
It's it just seems like they keep building up steam. At the first HEX is a joke, Ponzi scam, all this stuff. Now PulseChain, this is Richard's play to get even more money out of people. It's like he's already rich. That's the founder you want. You want the rich founder who has zero incentive to rug pull you because he has all the money already. Doesn't need it.
The most obvious reason why Richard would never rug us is because we already gave him $2 billion. Why he could walk away right now legally because it was a sacrifice for freedom of speech and not do anything. It's pointless. So
but instead, he's working real hard in those castles. I saw the video today.
So I mean, if the people that say he's gonna rug HEX for the whopping $4 million of USDC and pools, whatever it is right now, it's just a joke. These are like the stupidest of stupid people that make comments without doing zero research. And I make comments without doing research, but a lot of times, 95% of times, I am right about things when I make comments about that I don't do research on.
I've seen some bad crypto influencer videos about HEX recently. I'm just every time I see one, I'm just like, did y'all do any research? You literally come into it with a subjective narrative of this thing must be bad. And then you just justify why it must be bad. That's not research. That's just you. Yep. It's not scientific at all. It's nothing.
It's terrible. So I didn't all of the scam stuff for 2.5 years didn't bother me as much as I'm sure Johnny Chaos and Hexo and the guys that were very active for the entire 2.5 years, because I wasn't on social media. And so it's like the only time I ever see it was when people go and try to live stream against Richard and debate Richard and stuff, and they say it there. But so I haven't taken the slings and arrows that everybody else has, really.
Yeah. Well, you got time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Jake Sharp earlier, and we were talking about the OA, and he had an interesting speculation too about, maybe the OA is, Richard. Obviously, speculation whether it's rich or not, blah blah blah, but maybe it is like literally a legal entity, like a trust or something that's tied up that just can't sell. I mean, isn't that a possibility? It's like it literally can be not him, but another entity to even protect him from himself and screwing up the glory and all that stuff. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. I know why the OA exists, and I think it can do things. It's here to defend the HEX price. And that's why, like, when I came to Twitter, I was very unfavorable. Like, nobody liked me. I'm blocked by a lot of Hexicans because of things I was saying early on, but they were things like, hey, you shouldn't buy Hedron at the start. I'm not saying Hedron, the project, is a bad thing, but buying the token at the start was not a good thing. The project is great. It's a great way to extract liquidity from HEX without nuking the price. I understand why it exists. It's really cool to have 15-year stakes that are somewhat liquid. The protocol is great, but people confuse the protocol with token price, and people were getting excited about the OA claiming it's Hedron, and they were actually celebrating it. And I'm like, no, you fools. He will sell this thing down. If he sees, and I say he, I don't know who, but I know the OA is here to defend the HEX price. And there's videos. So there's videos from Richard, probably 2 years ago, and people were saying, why does this OA exist? Why do you have to have 90% of the coins? It's actually an Eric Wall video when they were over in Malta or something, like 53 minutes in, probably.
I remember
that. Go listen to that around that time frame, 48 minutes to 53 minutes, maybe somewhere in that range. That he says, Eric's like, why does an OA have to hold 90% of the coins? And Richard's, I don't know, maybe somebody will airdrop a bunch of stuff to Hexicans, and maybe they'll start trading their HEX in for that thing and try and hurt the HEX price. I can kill that. It's here to kill things that get airdropped to Hexicans. And that's why I knew, like, all these people were saying, like, oh, this is so bullish for Hedron. And I'm like, no, if he sees people selling their HEX for Hedron and hurting the HEX price, ain't going to happen. Not on a free airdrop. Not when he has power over it. He's not here to make people happy. He's here to keep a price up.
Yes, defend the HEX price. No, but recently, though, he is actually, so initially, I could see the OA being skeptical. Hey, I want to make a power play if I need to. But recently, Richard, I think, is the only community project he's ever mentioned by name on stream, on podcast, or whatever, has been Hedron.
Yep.
And about HSIs and FTs and stuff like that. So do you think he's kind of been like, okay, you guys seem to be doing good. Could you still see something, the OA making some bad move in the future for Hedron? Or are you thinking now it's like, okay, this is actually good for HEX, I'm gonna hang out on it?
The protocol is good for HEX. The token is not. We're the only people that know about the token are our community. So is it going to do good? Yeah, it's probably going to do fine now that it's down 99%. Everything's going to do fine. If it's going to be tied in liquidity to HEX and to PulseChain, it's probably going to do fine. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's probably up if I had to guess from the lows. But
why is it bad for HEX? Not a lot of people understand
it
that.
Splits up our buying
power. Would
power.
Agree with it either.
It splits up our buying power. I actually was not a fan of PulseX having a token. I'm not a fan of the wallet having a token. I would much prefer just HEX or just PulseChain having a token. You have to have a token for the network to transact. I understand that. But could we have just used like the PulseChain token as the native token for PulseX? Could we have done a buy and burn of PulseX where it just burns PulseChain tokens? I'd rather not split up buying power when all of us are here to get 10,000x returns. Well, you know what? It's going to be really hard for us to get 10,000x returns when we have like 8 things we're all trying to put in money into. when we're all allocating money over into this and this and this, it's going to be hard for like everybody. I don't talk about 10,000x because I don't think it's going to happen in PulseChain, but that's what everybody talks about. And then they start talking about other projects and how their project is good for HEX. And I don't care. Like, I understand projects need to come to PulseChain. I understand Hedron, the protocol, is good. But when we're splitting buying power up between a bunch of things, I don't think that's good. So
that's two different points I want to go to on that. So one, I see the splitting up buying power, but how would you even, how would you take the other side on that? And can you say, okay, wouldn't another token help grow the ecosystem, take more sacrifice of HEX and lock it up and, pump other things? What kind of case could you make against, what you just said, if you were going to?
The only people that bought the 13x run up in Hedron were HEX people. And that got dumped 95%. And somebody basically extracted $1 million from hexagons and then put it into a dog token. They bought a dog token with it. How is that good for the HEX price? I don't care. Like, I don't care what people buy, but I'm just saying, if people want to talk about 10,000 X's all the time, we're going to get it by all rallying behind one product. And the PulseChain token is the product now that could do it. But when we're all splitting off and buying other coins, we're probably not going to see the 10,000, So it is what it is. People are going to always chase things and want to be early into things. It is what it is. But I just try to make a case that I think a lot of these things coming to PulseChain don't have to have a token. Like, could the Hedron protocol work without a token? They're using it in ways that it needs a token now, but I don't know about it good enough. But there is protocols that do not need a token. Uniswap worked just fine. Could we have got by without a PulseX token? If it is the only thing it does is keep us from getting vampire attacked, I don't know. I don't know that. I'd like to have somebody answer that for me. Because
no, I was just going to ask just on the 10th. So you think the splitting up the different projects is risking the 10,000x for PulseChain? You think before PulseX and stuff sacrifice, it was like, okay, we have a chance, but now is there anything else that you think is just putting the 10,000x at risk, for example?
I mean, not
like
really.
The amount of SAC value, billions of dollars is starting, that we need like a huge drop off and go back up. Like how would we, today, because, wallet sacrifice, that's coming up too, probably, mid next year sometime after PulseChain launches, let's say, or, I have no idea. If after PulseChain launches, there'll be a wallet sacrifice, we suspect. How does that play into things? Does that, further, devalue things? Do you think?
Well, so like the benefit of the wallet sacrifice, it's going to take a crap ton of PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX off the market again, just like so yes, it's good in a way, but then it's still, I believe, going to spread our money out more. I like to make the case that yes, if you hold the token, you're going to earn fees off of all the transactions done inside the wallet. So you will earn fees by holding the token. I hate to say this, but I think I would rather see those fees go to somebody that loves our ecosystem instead of having another token just to earn fees. So money goes into there, and then those fees get spread out and people probably cash them out to pay for their lifestyles. I'd rather see one guy maybe earn the fees and maybe buy back his own token with that. It'd be like a stock buyback. Stocks go up because of stock buybacks during all that Trump stuff. When they were doing really well, they were buying back their stocks. Well, if I'm a shareholder, my bags are getting pumped. I don't really care. So that's why I would like to see. And it's kind of, it's essentially, it's similar to like the PulseX buy and burn. If whoever was receiving those funds didn't need that money out of the wallet income, if he just bought back his own tokens like a stock buyback.
Wow.
I think that'd be a lot better per price than having another token, having it between 100,000 people, and having another thing to buy.
Do you think that, that we say, Richard's building this vertical ecosystem, shiny things to keep everyone in, stuff like that. Do you think PulseChain came from, it was just a good opportunity, Ethereum fees are crazy high, Richard saw that, but also maybe people are getting bored with HEX, some people, to attract new people, we keep needing new projects. We need wallet, we need exchange. centralized exchange. We need like, different kinds of products to keep bringing new people in and making the people been in here for a while excited, and keep getting people to reinvest their gains from one coin to another. How do you think does that make sense? How do is that something you think is going on?
I don't think he would have done it right now if how should I phrase this? I don't think he would have created a blockchain now if it wasn't a fee problem with Ethereum. People were actually having a problem ending their stakes to where the ETH fees broke the HEX staking ladder model, where if you have there's guys that have tiny little stakes coming out every day, and they lose all of their money because
especially with the downward price now.
They were like $1 stakes at first, and they turned into $100 or something. And that was every single day this guy would have like stakes like that. And his end stake would cost more than the $100 that was in the stake. So he had to do this. There was no choice. HEX was broken without going to another blockchain. It's probably working fine now because fees are lower because we're in a bear market. But by the time we get into a bull market again, Ethereum will not have its fee problem fixed by the time we get to another bubble cycle top, and it'll destroy people's staking ladders again. So he had to do it, but would he have done it if the fees got fixed? I don't know if he would have. Like he was very like he actually did care that people were losing all their money on their stakes, and he had to do it. So would he have done it anyways? I don't think now, but maybe he would have, like the next cycle,
Next cycle. Yeah. It always makes me think of building this ecosystem, trying to keep new people coming in, growing the holders. Of course, they're going to see the first product HEX. They're going to see success, free airdrop with HEX coming up with PulseChain. I'm always just trying to understand, do these new products come from just trying to keep new people, because that's kind of his thing, right? His thing is, even on streams he'll say, I'm not here for 2022 streams. You watch anything before 2022? A lot more gems in there. 2022 is just him saying the same thing over and over.
Yep.
Because he's not here for us. He's here for new people, right? He said it
very
times.
Blatantly honest with his early HEX marketing that we're all here for number go up. And he was pretty honest, and that was good enough for me. Yeah. It's it makes me nostalgic for the old times, but I believe in the mission. I know he's going to get us there. And sometimes you just got to trust in Richard. If you don't understand what he's doing, maybe it's a deficiency in you instead of it doesn't make sense in general. So that's the way I think about it, at least. Yep.
How do you onboard people? What are some of the best ways to onboard people? Maybe people just aren't interested, or they don't believe you about the mad gains, or they can't believe the APY, or whatever it is. How do you actually get to people and kind of shake them inside, or physically, whatever, gently, and just get them to understand, like, this can change your life? Is there any way to actually do it to be effective and not be like this overbearing kind of power? Yes.
First off, not by using the word APY. I've been on a rant on Twitter for the last week about this.
David James is here.
When I came to Twitter, I was very loud about it too, but like I was a little guy and no one knew me then. So it was like, what's your opinion worth? But now I think some people liked what I had to say, and APY is terrible marketing. It's the worst marketing.
Well, first, let me say that I think asking people about APY as an opening to a further conversation, there's different ways you could use APY as marketing to get into it. But I think you have some good ideas too. And I think you have maybe even some better ways to do it. So yeah, I just want to preface with what I think about it first.
My most successful way of onboarding somebody is not by saying, hey, I have this new world-changing thing, because every single 2017 ICO says the same dumb thing. Could HEX be world-changing? It could. Do I believe it right now? To be honest with you, no, I don't. Hang on, let me text David. I told him I'd give him $200 to do that video of asking people what APY is.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there's a bet going on. Cool.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bet. I just put in a tweet. I said I'll give $200 to somebody that walks or goes and asks 10 people on the street what APY is. Because I asked all my college friends. I have a guy that has like a doctorate in animal science.
You started this. Okay, I get the origins now. Okay.
Yeah, and I just think it's bad marketing. But anyways, what was I going at before that?
You were telling us the ways that
oh yeah, the best way to market it is not saying it's world changing, but get people in with saying these are speculative instruments, 100% speculative instruments. And when the price is down 90% and you were in the right thing, these things do go up a lot again. And that is the best way to get somebody in. They don't believe you if you say this is the next Amazon or this is the Ethereum killer. Like a lot of now that maybe will for coiners, but no coiners wouldn't know anything about that. And so I like to just be more realistic and more grounded that, hey, these are speculative instruments. Maybe one day it can have a use, but not now. And the code is good enough that if we have a good enough network effect, it will be a great future, like a world changing thing if we continue the network effect. But we have to keep doing that. If the network effect dies, it's not going to be world changing.
Right. Yeah. I just I was thinking about, I saw the one kid who was going up to people, talking to them and saying, just asking them about HEX, talking to them for a minute, and then just give them like $20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's an effective way to do it? I mean, obviously you need to be funded. You need to have lots of $20 bills, but do you think that's something if people see money like that?
We need diversity in everything we do for onboarding. And here's where like idiots like that Joker, he's like, oh, these HEX flexing guys, they're ruining HEX. They're ruining HEX. And he's at war. He's at an imaginary war with people. The dude's a psychopath. He is a true psychopath. And
I don't know him. I don't know.
He's terrible, but he's at war with like people flexing and stuff. But we need diversified onboarding. People love seeing expensive stuff. That's why all the ads you see on Facebook or Twitter or whatever of somebody selling an Amazon course, they have a Lamborghini sitting behind them. Makes them look like they have money. Everybody selling a course has expensive stuff behind them a lot of the times because it actually does work. Now, does everybody like it? No. There's a lot of people that it will polarize. We need diversified, like we need the postcards. We need a paid marketing program on social media. The flexing stuff is good. So like, for example, I'll tell you where like the flexing stuff comes in. Like, so I've never cashed $1 of crypto out in my entire life. I wouldn't even know how to. I wouldn't even know my information to Coinbase.
Hashtag diamond hands.
But I built my dream home this year, and I put a pretty sick man cave in, put a golf simulator in, and all this kind of stuff. And they're just like, all my friends are now like, dude, what the hell? And now they listen. Now they listen to me. Now that they
need to see success, they need to see it like from a personal experience.
Right. Like I don't talk about my finances in real life. And that's why I have a fake name on Twitter, is because I don't want to talk about my finances with people. But once they see it, they want it. And that's the same thing with everybody. Like a lot of the animosity is towards like Hexicans buying Rolexes and stuff, and Richard spending all this money on watches and clothing and everything. But let me tell you a great piece of network effect that just happened. So Motley, who people hate because he bought a Rolex sometime, maybe, I don't know. What he did was he went into that Nico watch guy's YouTube video. He put a $500 super chat, and he said, "Hey Nico, you ought to check out my guy Richard Hart. He's got a $10 million watch collection. You should really get into this." Nico has a million subs. He has an interview with Richard. From that interview, a guy named Trevor actually watched Nico every single week. Like, this Trevor guy was a big fan of Nico and learned about Richard Hart through that Nico interview. Trevor has a lot of rock star and musician friends of people that are very wealthy. That is an amazing network effect over a silly watch. I hate watches. Like I would never spend $300 on a watch. It's just not my style. You know, I don't like that stuff. I don't like nice cars. I drive a $2,000 car around, and but it does work for some people. The flexing of Motley spending $500 on a super chat, Richard having 500 or whatever, $10 million in watches, onboarded Nico, a million sub channel that now talks about Hex on his million sub channel, and it got rock bands in from Motley making a super chat. That is the perfect network effect. That is exactly what network effect is. And that's exactly why I came to Twitter. So maybe one thing that I say over the course of 6 months, one thing, if I said one thing that somebody uses a tool that I say to onboard somebody of importance, then it was all worth me coming and talking and bannering for 6 months. You know, I might figure out. I don't know. I just tired.
6 months, 6 more months, just 6 more months. Okay.
Yeah. But
man, the super chat, that's, I never, you know, I wouldn't say I never thought about it, but I never thought about how effective it would be, especially in huge communities. So, you know, just to synthesize this a little bit, people can go around to other, you know, YouTube channels with a lot of followers when they're doing live streams, and you can do a super chat. It don't have to be $500, but maybe something significant, so get people, you know, look like you have some money, or you know,
that's what Motley does, and you
have
you
just go there.
These maxis they're the problem with Hex. To date, I don't know if there is a more important onboard than Motley spending $500 on a super chat. The person that is supposedly the problem with Hex, you know, it's very silly to me. We need diversification of onboarding tools. We need the postcards. We need the flexing. We need everything. Everything attracts somebody, but not one thing. We can't have our only onboarding tool reaching other communities. That's what I was going to do. I was going to reach other communities. That can't just be our only onboarding tool. We're doing a better job going out into the real world than any other coin is. I bet your ass on that. So
super chats. I learned one thing today, how important super chats are. And I think I will get on that too. I think everyone
Motley set up a few interviews over super chats.
Okay. Well, I got a resident troll. He's a nice troll. We let him stay, but he says stuff that don't make sense sometimes. And sometimes he brings up good points actually. So first comment, if you want to respond, Dixon, great effect from Surge. Great effect, but no big guys came and bought. Otherwise, we'd be over $1 USD for Hex. What would you
We're in a bear market. There is going to be selling. The famous like OGs are dumping on our heads. Yes, this is a bear market. This is how markets work.
They were probably dumping in December.
There is people on the sidelines ready to get in when PulseChain launches. I'm on the sidelines waiting for PulseChain to launch. There's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting for the bear market to end. And that's what I have. Hex stakes 5, 10, 15 years, but I'm not just riding my Hex bag down 95% on my liquid stuff. But the only thing that matters is loving the coin that you're going to get back into. It's a meme coin. The reason all meme coins fail, except like SHIB and Doge, nobody has any emotional attachment to them. Nobody loves them.
Gunther loves PSLD.
Huh?
Gunther loves PLSD.
Yes. But there's no emotional attachment to it. I came here to flip a buck real quick and get out, and I'll find another dog coin next week. That's what the
got me thinking about your brother now. Get me thinking about your brother now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's all about that. But yeah, what else we got?
Super chats, man. Super chats. That's key. If you bring nothing away from this, go make some super chats in big channels. I like that.
Yeah, it matters.
So, well, let's just continue on that. I got, one more point too about branding, how to engage, how to build a following in a healthy way. What's the best ROI for a crypto Twitter?
Everything comes down to, and I've said, this is how I built everything I ever did before. Before I quit social media, I want to say I probably had over 200 million video views on content I created. Might not be 200 million. I know it's over 100 million easily, maybe 250 million. But anyways, wow. Everything comes down to memes and substance. And when I say substance, I think a lot of the crypto people refer it as alpha. And people want to laugh or people want to get smarter. If you're not giving one of those two things to people, you're not going to grow. So let me put it this way. I believe there's a big difference in branding and marketing. Marketing is short term and it dies at the end of the campaign, when branding lasts forever. Richard Hart is a brand. He has branded that we don't use admin keys. We don't have counterparties. We're going to hold our own coins. We're going to talk the truth. Richard Hart has a brand of being honest. I built brands around my lifestyle and being funny and making meme videos and making action videos and making like educational videos is where I made all of my views from. But I'll tell you where it didn't help me was, so one of my businesses that had like the most potential would be one of my e-commerce websites, where if it would have blown up like I wanted it to, it probably could have done 10, 20, 30, $40 million a year in sales. The first 2 years, I hyper marketed it. And I probably spent $100,000 a year marketing. On top of that, I gave away a $40,000 car just to customers each year. And I ran campaigns about the car, giving it away, and just did so much advertising in the first 2 years. And 2 years into it, all of like my friends, like I wouldn't say they're like my friends, but friend acquaintances that I would see around, they would ask me like, but what do you do? I'm like, I sell this. I sell X. Oh, I thought you were just giving away a car. Like, where can I buy a raffle ticket at? No, you buy stuff from me and I give you the car. I give somebody the car. And I spent so much money on advertising, and I went over people's heads. I grew a following on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter to probably, for that business alone, probably 60,000 within the first year. But I built that following 100% on a giveaway, giving discounts on certain pieces each week, very marketing based stuff, advertising the page to get new page followers. But a lot of it was just advertising driven. And let me give you a perfect example of why branding is better than marketing.
Okay.
I had a great relationship with every single competitor of mine because they saw the marketing I was doing and they're like, oh, this guy's going to take over. And they all put their pride aside and they all basically asked me like, hey, would you want to do some of this content for me also? And I'm like, well, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. I had a great relationship with all my competitors selling the exact same thing. I had such a good relationship with all my competitors that I was admins on all of their Facebook pages. I could delete them from existence. I had that kind of power on my competitors' page. And so what I found out, I did a lot of cross posting on Facebook with content I was creating, where when you're an admin, just say I was an admin of like 100 pages, every competitor, a bunch of sports players, I was admins on all these pages. And what I would do is I would cross post to where you can post the same video across several pages, but the views all rack up under the same number. Instead of just posting a video under this page and this page and this page, and they each get 500 views, it'd be one video with 1,500 views. And here's what I find out. I would make a video and my 60,000 following, it would this video would get 500 likes, because after you give somebody the free thing, they're like, look, they move on. You give somebody free shit, they're going to take it and move on and wait for the next deal. They'll come back and talk to you and you have another deal for them. Yeah. And so I don't ever give deals anymore. I just provide good content and hopefully good information that people like. But where I was getting at with this was my competitors page, who had 3,000 followers, 3,000. I had between 40 and 60 between my platforms. When I would cross post things, his business was built 100% organic, and his pitch was American made right here in the homelands. And that was his pitch. And people loved him for his pitch of being a small time guy, American made. And his 3,000 person page, when I would cross post something, it would get exponentially more interaction than from my 60,000 following, because people don't actually care about the ad that I'm presenting. The people that follow him care about what he's doing, and they share it. So he'd get 500 shares to my literally 2, because my base for that specific business was all built on deals. And follow me for a $200 giveaway, deals like that, follow me. If anybody that follows us in the next week, we're going to give this part away to. So we did a lot of that stuff to build a following, and it's just not the right way to build a following. It's not the right way to build a following by going to Twitter, going and turbo liking everybody. I had bots that used to go through Twitter, like 1 million people a day, then unfollow them the next day to grow pages. It's a very bad way. Like my page now with 2,000 followers gets more interaction than a Twitter page that I had with 150,000 followers. I used to have like a dozen Twitter pages, all with over 100,000 followers, but they get no engagement because it was all farmed traffic. And it's not, my most success was my personal brand, where I actually had about 150,000 followers through that. That's what I talk about, the 150,000 followers from, not my businesses and stuff. Between everything, it was probably like 1 million and stuff. But like I said, a lot of it was just dead users that wouldn't interact with my stuff because it was a very inorganic way to get a following. And the best way to get a following is be funny and be smart. Do one or the other.
Is that how you get people to care? Like, is that the key to branding? Get people to care, and they'll care if you're funny or smart.
Just like you, and like what you stand for. Like, I like making memes. I like looking at memes, and I like giving. Like, I have a lot of life experience that I like to give out because, don't get me wrong, I'm here for 100% selfish reasons. I'm trying to make my bag worth more money. But if I can make people smarter, maybe that's good for my bag. And that's why I'm as selflessly as possible trying to give out all of the information I have. Like, when I came to Twitter, I tried to go around to like a lot of the YouTube channels. Like, I tried to help Joker out a lot. You know, I'd like to help Jim Rat and Sam out if they ever wanted advice. I would love to give everything I know to somebody so I don't have to go do the job. Because right now I'm a net buyer of crypto. If I have to sell a business and become a content creator, I'm not a net seller, but I'm not going to be a buyer anymore. If I don't have a business, I'm just going to watch my number go up. But right now I can send money into crypto because I have businesses. So I would love to give away all of the information I have if it would help just a little bit for somebody to break out of just the HEX ecosystem, you know, and be like a crypto YouTuber, not a HEX YouTuber. I think that's where something could really help somebody with the right motives that can't be bought, that has good morals. I think that's where there's some low-hanging fruit for somebody like that.
You're certainly helping people right now with this knowledge. I think that's fantastic branding advice. Yeah, I mean, for myself, RH Maximalist, I think that's kind of I'm okay with organic, slower growth. I'm okay. I know I'm not going to reach as many people as I would if I was, non-RH only stuff. I mean, it's not like when we have a conversation, it's not like we only talk about RH. We're talking about branding right now. We're talking about, businesses. We're talking about other things too. But I think
I'm going to turn my light on.
Sure. I think that I found a niche, and I want to spread Richard's ideals. And I buy Richard Hart stock. I don't think he's going away anytime soon. I don't think I'm just going to, as soon as we all get financial freedom, I'm still going to be here. I may not do as many live streams because I may be, working on foundation and try to do things like that to kind of scale myself and do some actual good in the world, more than I can do with a little bit amount of money. But I think there's something to be said for niches and the ability to collaborate and bring and show people that you are so into an ideal that you will put yourself out there and you will tell people just how good it is. And I think we need, like you said, diversity. I think we need a little bit of everybody. And I'm very happy.
I don't like seeing within the community people having problems with how other people are marketing HEX or whatever. I don't like seeing that. I like that Jim Rat talks about other coins. I like that some people flex up. That's what they want to do. Let's go for it. I like that everybody has their own type of way, what they think is good at onboarding. I just don't like seeing the animosity between people that think one way is the only way to advertise.
Yeah, and talking about other coins versus buying other coins, I think I'll just say one bit on that. If I think too many people seem to get distracted when it's bear market, when it's boring, when it's time to learn and not time to buy, and prices aren't going up like crazy. And that's what I think the PulseChain is going to enable. It's going to enable all these shiny objects, all these new projects launching on it to keep people more inside the ecosystem and stop letting them go astray to all these other, oh, we're going to go buy Cardano now and all this stuff because HEX price down, right? It's just, I think talking about different coins and comparing them and things like that are, I would say that's, yeah, I'm a little bit easier on those than like actually like, oh, I'm going to go buy, Colt Dow or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Again, not telling anybody what to do with their coins, but hey, what products I invest in.
Yep.
Let's start the chat real quick. Yeah, a lot of people enjoying the interview. Blue Bum, this great interview. A lot of people with good comments. They like to hear you speak, man. I think I've learned a lot just talking to you for a few minutes, and it's going great so far. We can only go downhill from here. Just remember that.
Yep.
Let's see. I think we got a question here from the Glue Bamboo. What's up, SJ? Agree with Dixon about splitting up buying power new tokens. I think Target is dominating all the money into the next market. More of a comment, but yeah.
I understand his message there. Like what he's getting at is like, we need coins for adoption to an extent. We actually do need fiat, the protocol fiat. We need that protocol for PulseChain to be successful. For whales to come into our ecosystem, they need the tools that fiat has to offer with leverage, and they don't just need it to go degen. They need it for hedging purposes even. So fiat is a great tool. I like the owners of that, or whatever, the founders of that, a lot. I think they're really smart people. Like, outside of Richard Hart, I think they're some of the smarter people. But at the same time, like, I was asking him one day in a Spaces, I'm like, so why do you guys need to have a token? Like, Aave keeps the income, keeps the profits from the Aave protocol, but then the Aave token's kind of a duct tape token, is what they explained to me. Mm-hmm. Their token earns the rewards. And I do believe that those guys actually love HEX, and I believe that those guys in good faith are building on PulseChain for the benefit of PulseChain and HEX. I believe that from those guys. Can you
explain fiat, PHIAT? Can you explain just what it is and why you think HEX is the best interest for them?
So, like, I don't have a huge deep. It's a fork of Aave. I don't have a huge abundance of knowledge on Aave because I've never used it in my entire life. But it allows you to liquidity farm or whatever, yield farm, and it has tools that all these whales need on the system. Look, liquid loans. It is a useful tool for the system if somebody doesn't want to cash out their crypto, if they can take small loans out. But what's going to happen is everybody's going to degen, and it's basically just going to be leveraged loans. They're just going to leverage their money. They're going to use what they think is a strategy. And one day we're going to come crashing down 95% because there's so much leveraged money out. It's going to happen if everybody uses that kind of strategy, I believe. But there is use for that. It is a useful protocol that we need for PulseChain. I understand that. But like what I was saying with the fiat guys, I'm like, so why do you guys make a token? Why don't you just keep the profits for yourself? And they said, well, we want to just disperse the profits out. And I get it. Like, they want paid. They did the respectable thing, and they capped their sacrifice at like 2.5 million. So, like, I can respect that because they were very scared about losing money for their investors. So they made it so you could only give so much, and we're going to start out at a 2.5 million market cap because we don't want to get anybody hurt. I mean, that's basically what they did. And I can respect all of that. But from my understanding, they could have done it without a token. So did you hear a cat? Was it my cat?
I think it was mine.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the heck? But so, like, we need the protocols. I personally, and I'm not complaining, I personally would have liked to seen a better path to where we can all just rally around one token. I think it would have been better to where we have the protocols and they don't have to have tokens, and we can buy one token and get the bit, and then we can actually get the 10,000x.
Interesting. So with fiat, is the SAC phase still open, or have they hit the 2.5?
No, it was done months ago. They only had it open for like 2 weeks or something. Yep.
Gotcha. Well, that's a interesting, the principles behind it, and also, I mean, just kind of smart in a way, like strategy, like 2.5 cap, 2.5 mil.
Yeah,
market cap,
they
let's
did
say.
it a good way, man. Like
Interesting.
I got a lot of respect for those guys, and you can tell, like, just from listening to the founder when he gets into a space, is like you can tell this guy is smart.
Yeah, I really haven't heard anything bad about Fiat. I don't know much about it, but
like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to buy the token. I want to buy the token that's going to go up the most. And the thing is, if you buy a token that's not PulseChain, you double your risk. Not only do you need PulseChain to succeed, you need the next thing to succeed also. There's no guarantee to that. There's no guarantee to PulseChain, but at least if you have PulseChain, you just need the one thing to succeed. There's no guarantee the next step, the next layer is going to succeed, but definitely the next layer doesn't succeed without PulseChain. So you're adding risk having one of the, like, putting a bunch of money into the tokens of the ecosystem, I believe. So it is what it is. I think there might be an equilibrium where people get paid out enough in the fees and a lot of those protocols to where hopefully they don't turn into just massive speculative bubbles. And they just, I would much rather see fair market value for what the fees are accumulating for token value, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than they go into speculative bubbles too, just because everybody that's buying them is people in our ecosystem anyways. So, like, I don't have a problem with the protocols. I love them. I know we need all this stuff for PulseChain. I thought there could have been a better way.
Sure. Good comment from Paul here. I disagree with Dixon on the PulseX versus PLSX. We gained 100K sacrifice waiting before that ultimate benefit.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I mean, we got more people, but yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. It is not all downside for having the PLSX token. Like, there's going to be benefits to it having multiple tokens. We would have gotten the people anyways, I believe, because they didn't find us just by talking about PulseX. They found us by Richard talking about PulseChain, and there is also the sacrifice.
Gotcha. Paladin XYZ in the past, when HEX would dip, the community would buy it up. That made people believe in the community, made you want to buy it more. Now it looks like a abandoned theme park.
It's not, though. It's just a bear market. Like, every coin is like this. Every single one, except some new thing that might pump for a month or 2 months. Every single coin in the market's like this. It's just what it is. It is a bear market. It's just kind of cut and clear. Like, when we go bull again, it'll be the exact same way where dips will get bought up again.
What's your plan for the next 6 months? DCA, hold, stake, sell now, buy back later, more? What do you think?
Anything I do now, like, I'm just waiting to buy pullbacks. Like, I think we're going to go, I still believe we're going to go down. We only had one bull trap the entire market. I think there's too much hope in the market still. I don't like that we're V-bottoming at this point in time with the, I will buy crypto before the macro gets good. I don't buy off of one indicator, but I don't like that we're V-bottoming with a bad macro. I would much rather us bottom and then just kind of coast, kind of like how Bitcoin chilled at $3,000 in 2018 for 4 months and slowly accumulate from there. But I don't like seeing this V bottom, and that's why I think this is a trap.
Relief rally. So you think it's relief rally? We got another leg down.
Yeah, I don't know if we go to 11. Like, I'm gonna have most of my money in before 11, but like from this time on, I am a buy and hodl. Like, once you get a position, I'm gonna hodl that position from here on out. And I'm just waiting for dips to do that. I don't want to buy into a pump. I'd much rather wait for PulseChain to come out than buy into a pump.
Makes sense. Yeah, you talked about earlier. You were just you want to have that dry powder for when it comes out.
Yep.
Well, so when you think, when it comes out, traditionally, the product launch is just about every coin comes out. FOMO, huge dip, maybe chop, maybe sideways. What do you think is going to happen when PulseChain launches?
I mean, it kind of looks like he's timing it to an extent, but I mean, if there is work to do, great. But we are close.
How does it help? If he is timing it, how does that help with maybe there's less chop, maybe there's more vertical.
There could be less chop, but I think we're close enough to the end of the bear market that it doesn't matter when it launches. I think it could launch tomorrow and do good. eventually we need more people to grow. And right now the thing lacking in crypto is people. And that's why the price went down, because the Google search terms is down. The people coming into crypto is just down. It doesn't overcome the sellers. People have to sell at an 85% loss before we can go up. And once we start going up, then more people will come back into the system. But I think we're close enough to the end of the bear market that it could really launch any time and be fine. Like it would probably just start going up, and probably everything in the ecosystem will just start going up, is what I think.
Nice. Just a ding, ding, ding. We at 69 people watching right now. So Dixon Piper 69. Cool. There you go.
Is Richard streaming with somebody like tonight or?
That's a good question. I think he was supposed to stream with some people.
I thought maybe we'd be like scheduled over top of him, but I'm like, we'll get the word out of this later.
I had time to think about it today. I was just like, yep, we're gonna stream no matter what. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Jerry Oak Smith, how's it going? Yeah, chat. Share the link. Let's beat Richard. Let's try to go for a 2K watches today. Okay.
Oh, starts in 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Well, we got time.
We're good then. We're good.
Yep.
Start in 45. Thanks, SJ. 1 hour, Jerry. Appreciate it. When does HEX hit a new all-time high? That's a question a lot of people are talking about right now.
Man. So Eric Wall dunked on me super hard this week because I made a reckless bet with him back in February. And I got to put some context into this. So like in February, there was a lot of speculation that PulseChain was launching in February, in March, in April. I thought that I was being conservative, thinking it was going to launch in June. And so here's been my belief from the entire start is I believe HEX will see an all-time high within 6 months of PulseChain launch. And that is assuming the PulseChain token does good. If it doesn't do good, might take longer. Like if we're still in like an extended bear market, if something would happen and the macro like made crypto stay bear for 2 more years, I don't think that's the case. But if that did happen, like, yeah, we're all in trouble for that amount of time. But if the PulseChain token does good out of the gate and starts going up, does 5x, does 10x in the first 6 months, I think HEX will see an all-time high within 6 months of launch. And that's where I was making that bet off of, that I thought comfortably we'd have PulseChain out by June. Not happening. So
for people who don't know,
can we still get an all-time high? Like it's going to be really tough. Like PulseChain would need to launch today, but like we could have a lot of chop for the first month of PulseChain with HEX. So if we just stay at this 3 to 5 cent range until it launches, it wouldn't surprise me if we had a huge wick down to sub penny or something, with people swapping out into PulseChain and going after the new shiny new object. But I do believe that profits, I 100% believe this, that profits will get taken from PulseChain back into HEX. And here's going to be the greatest thing about it is PulseChain is going to be on a lot of exchanges, I believe. I think the exchange in China that Richard kind of hinted at is going to be the, oh man, I can't think of the name of it now. I'll think of it later. GDAX or IDAX or something. Can't remember what it's named.
Did we get some more information on that? Did he point that out, or are you just speculating?
No, he said there was a Chinese exchange, or no, he said there was a big exchange getting ready to list him. I truly don't believe it's Coinbase, Binance, or FTX. OKX. I'm guessing it's OKX. That's my speculation. It's a big exchange. It's a Chinese exchange that probably doesn't have like a huge like hard on for Richard. I think a lot of these people will resist listing him as long as they can until it does have more volume. And
they haven't heard about Richard in China yet.
No, maybe not. But so that's what I think, that it will do good. It's going to have a lot of liquidity behind it. And
what was the bet too? Just to go back for a second. What was the bet between Eric and
I bet 20 grand we'd have an all-time high like in a year. And the only reason I bet 20 grand, like if I go back and bet like 2 grand or 5 grand, that would have been plenty, because like it's not a money making deal. I could have put the money in HEX and made 20 times amount. It was more of a statement thing that I want Eric to be accountable when he is making statements that HEX will never ever go to an all-time high again, because he is going to be wrong. And I screwed up on the time frame probably, and I probably shouldn't have thrown too much money at it. But the context of why I did was because my brother got me in a quick rug jump and I made like a 2x on 10 grand. So I'm like, oh, I just gambled and won this 20 grand here. I'll throw it right back in. So like, that's why it was for the amount it was. But like I would have been fine with doing it at 2 grand or 1,000 just to make a statement to keep it relevant for if he was ever wrong, to keep him accountable for that, because he keeps saying that it's never going to go up again.
And that's, everyone tip your hat to Dixon Piper. He's out there doing the good work, even, win or lose. I think we all appreciate
it's going to be tough in this environment to get to all-time highs in February, but it just depends when PulseChain launches. I'm a believer in the 6 months of new all-time highs. I do believe with high conviction that profits will get taken from PLS into HEX. And the greatest thing about it is PLS is going to have a lot of liquidity. And so if somebody wants to extract $1 million out of PulseChain, barely is going to touch the price, is what I believe. This is all speculation. I'm not saying this is gospel, but this is my speculation and how I'm going to be preparing my whatever portfolio for. I think people are going to take profits. Pulling $1 million out, $2 million out of PulseChain, which I think is going to have high volume, isn't going to hurt the price. But when you put $2 million into HEX, pumps a lot of price. So not a lot of profits have to get taken out of something that's extremely liquid for HEX to pump, which is extremely illiquid. So that's why I think it'll have all-time high.
That's
just for
very interesting setup.
Here's my other possible speculation. If that doesn't play out like that,
take it through.
I don't know how favorable it is to talk about stuff like this, but like the OA was designed to defend the price of HEX. We saw what it did with Hedron. I wouldn't be surprised. The OA has a massive bag of PulseChain. If people start swapping their HEX for PulseChain because they're chasing the shiny new thing, wouldn't surprise me in the least if the OA would swap out PulseChain for HEX and create a somewhat of a parity between the two. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would not surprise me if it created a somewhat of a parity.
Swap P. You're talking about swap. How would they swap
PulseChain for PX?
PulseChain for PX during which? How would they? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
on the open market on the DEX.
How does the OA have PulseChain? That's a good point. Maybe a lot of people probably don't know that.
It owns a lot. It owns a ton.
Right.
It owns a massive amount.
But it hasn't been sacrificed because it doesn't exist. So a lot of people kind of forget that too. That's a very interesting point.
Yep. So I think it's a possibility.
Somebody doesn't think the OA won't be here. Well,
I heard the same thing about tokens that it put a buy wall up against.
They put some winks out there. There's some winks on Hedron and otherwise too. Did we cover this? Yeah, I want to talk about that tweet you said. I think HEX all-time high in 6 months, followed by can you talk about timeline of HEX all-time high? Just the first 2 months. You said chop, 4 months, people taking profit. Just the basics on that.
Well, I think there is going to be chop at first. It's going to be, if I had to guess, HEX will probably make a low at the launch of PulseChain, just because there's going to be some people swap. Thing is, it could run up. I don't know. It could run up before the launch if Richard gave enough of a time. If people want to have 2 copies and then swap a copy for PulseChain. So I don't know. I have no idea where the volatility is going to be, but I'm assuming there's going to be massive volatility. That's my thought. Why would the OA swap between 2 assets it has tons of? Because it doesn't want people to just forget about HEX the rest of its life. This is pure speculation, guys. I'm just having a speculation, but because it does not, PulseChain was created for HEX. That's why it was created, because people's staking ladders were getting nuked. But yeah.
So just to reiterate too, why do you think the OA would swap PLS for HEX?
If people give up on HEX, if they deem that they just want to hold PulseX, PulseChain the rest of their life, this is pure speculation, and it's not why I think it's going to go to an all-time high, but it could play out like that, where it would just, it is here to defend the price of HEX. Richard said that many times in the early days, and it has proven it several times when things get airdropped to people and people start trading their HEX in for that new airdrop thing, and it has power to crush it. It does. So
one way or another, everything leads back to HEX. It's important to remember that.
And people are addicted to T-shares. Like, people love the T-share system. I don't believe people are complaining like the OGs are dumping and everything, the HEX, but people love T-shares and people love HEX. And I think they're going to go back and get more T-shares because they like the system.
T-share is a beautiful thing. I can't imagine a world without HEX at this point. I know a lot of people stake 15 years and maybe even further in the future once they keep, time keeps passing it too. It's something else. I'll ask you one more before we get up because I know Richard's going to launch. Richard's going to launch in a few minutes. I just said that, didn't I?
Yep.
Richard's going to. Where PulseChain's launching 40 minutes.
Dude,
no,
so this guy said HEX Maxi speaking. Like, I'm not a HEX Maxi. I buy other coins. I will have a dozen other coins in my wallet this year. I just don't want to speak about things I don't believe in. If I go throw $5,000 at some Sheeb, I'm not going to tell people to go do that because I don't believe in it. It's just a 100% speculative play. But I do believe in PulseChain going up, in the HEX price going up, and Richard Hart coins going up. I do believe in that. It's the only reason I want to talk about that and not the other coins that I hold. So, like, I'm not a maxi. I just only want to talk about things I believe in. And he said PulseChain is much, much bigger than HEX. But you have to understand, the PulseChain would not exist if it wasn't for HEX needing it. Richard may not have ever done PulseChain if the fees on Ethereum didn't get so high that it ruined people's staking ladders. I'm a tank top maxi, yes.
One more from Freedom for All. PulseX trying to outperform HEX. HEX won't come close. What do you think about
that? It's pure speculation, but I think they'll all do pretty similar. Like, the liquidity is a big thing. Like, yes, I do think PulseChain is going to do the best early. I think PulseX is going to have the most potential for the massive gains later on. And I still think HEX will do just as good as them. And that's why I'm not ever going to sell all my HEX, because of the low liquidity. I think PulseChain is going to have high liquidity. And as of now, HEX is still going to have low liquidity over there, where it does not take much for the price to go up.
Good. I like it. Tank top maxi. Yeah, it's nice. Yep. Nice looking tank top. PulseChain on exchanges. Do you think it'll be supported on exchanges? You mentioned maybe OKX, stuff like that, but in general, would there be anything that'll just say, okay, click on the PulseChain tab to see what pairs you have airdropped? You think anybody's going to do that, or what kind of battle do you think we have there?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to go, but I think with all of these big furus and influencers, I believe they are going to get on the train of PulseChain, and they all got their links to exchanges and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if Binance and FTX and stuff have to list it at some point, because it is an emerging, what should I say? An emerging layer one, and almost all layer ones get listed, So the only way a layer one is not going to get listed on exchange, in my opinion, especially the one with this many users right out of the bat, 150,000 users out of the bat. The only way I don't see it getting listed is they just hate Richard that much that they don't want the fee money.
Don't want the fee money. You think there'll be lawsuits or anything of users saying we want our pulse? Like the Bitcoin Cash deal and Ethereum Classic and stuff like that. Those all got supported even on Coinbase. It's been a long time ago, but do you think there'll be we'll see some lawsuits about on exchanges for people trying to get their PulseChain coins?
I don't know. Probably wouldn't surprise me. But one thing I will say that I would really love to see, if we do have a recession, if we stay in a continued recession in the United States, and the price of Robinhood just laid off 26% of their employees or something. If Robinhood would nuke like another 50% in stock price, I think one of the best things that we could do that maybe not the community, but maybe Richard and some other big players would be buying a management role in HEX. Sorry, not in HEX. Sorry, I was looking at somebody coming in the door. Buying a large position in Robinhood to get our tokens on there. I think that would be that'd be the best way to get a fiat on ramp. The best and quickest way to get a fiat on ramp would be buy a stake in Robinhood, I believe. But if somebody's liquid enough to do that, I don't know.
That's we'll finish with that. We'll finish that with the question of, just to follow up, what business would be most effective to buy? For Richard, for Hexkins, do we need to buy a bank to get the fiat on ramps? Do we need to buy part ownership in some crypto trading or platform? What is the most effective use of capital in the Hex community?
I think it's Robinhood. I think Robinhood is the easiest way. I was going to say Coinbase before if it kept going lower, but looks like it's probably going to start going up with this BlackRock deal and whatnot. But I think fiat on ramp, getting it to the masses, I think Robinhood would be the best use of money Richard could ever use if he could get some kind of roll there or whatever, say so.
Wow. Robinhood. Yeah, it's they've definitely been struggling a little bit. They're probably open for business, and Richard says he's going to start throwing some money around. He said a few months ago, so
it'd be pretty awesome. I think
it would. Dream come true. Dixon Piper, everyone. Fantastic interview, man. Nice to meet you. It really has been a great stream.
Yeah, man.
Somebody says KuCoin. Are we going to buy KuCoin, or is KuCoin going to?
Oh yeah. If KuCoin's still around when PulseChain launches, I'm sure that KuCoin will list it. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd bet you anything they'd list
KuCoin. KuCoin sounds like they sound like a flexible place to get new coins and business activities.
They've listed a lot
for better for worse. Yeah, for better for worse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Coinbase is up, David James. Yeah,
that's why like Coinbase probably would have been an option, because I think it was down to like an $8 billion market cap. If it would have kept nuking, I think there would have been opportunity for a takeover of Coinbase. But really, it's going up, and it probably won't come down again just because of BlackRock news.
Richard having a seat on the board of Coinbase, or co-CEO with Brian Armstrong, or ousting Brian Armstrong. Whoa. These bags are going to explode if that ever happens.
So I think that Robinhood would actually be better than Coinbase, because Coinbase is so diluted with coins and everything. It's basically just another exchange. It's just another Binance that has a fiat on ramp. Robinhood has a lot of no coiners. I think that it'd be a better way to get more no coiners with a Robinhood ownership.
Robinhood seems like the way, and
that's an opinion, though. I mean, I don't know.
That's what you're for.
I know that Richard, his comeback would be that he could build his own fiat on ramp, but why, when we could have one now with the users? I think that'd be cool.
You do the work. Do the work. Richard Hart, great man. Dixon Piper, everyone, go follow him on Twitter at Dixon Piper 69. Fantastic name. Not clear. You had a YouTube channel, you deleted it, you have a new one now?
No, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah,
okay.
I just I don't get to do videos too much. Like I would have done a video tonight, but I've been wanting to do one with you for like a month or something. I just my schedule's really messed up, and I'm just kind of all over the place. So
I'm so glad you did.
Tonight.
I'm so glad you did. I know it sounds like you're going to be out next week, and that's why we moved it to Friday. So
yep.
And thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time with me. Thanks for spending time with the chat. Fantastic information. It's one of the best. Man, this is one to end the week on. I'm telling you. I thought, it's just, we didn't just call it in today. We did not call it in today. Me and Dixon Piper, we paid the piper. I don't know what you say, in a good way. Whatever.
Yep.
I'll end it there. Chat. I'll be I'll be on Sloth stream. I usually take the weekends off, but I'll be on Crypto Sloth stream Sunday night sometime. I'm sure he'll post a link. And then Monday, I cannot remember who we have on the show, but we have somebody. So like, subscribe, do all the stuff. Go to Dixon's channel. Follow him on Twitter. Follow on YouTube. Hit all the buttons. Smash your computer. Not too hard, though. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great weekend. Don't worry about the bear. The bear comes and goes. The bull will be back. If you look at the charts, it always comes back. At RHMax on Twitter. Follow me if you like to. And everyone have an excellent weekend. We're out.
See you guys.